At that time, you spoke about an English class, English 1302, that you enrolled in. Is that you were previously enrolled in? Is that the correct issue for this evening?
Yes, sir. The topic has kind of evolved, but yeah, it's the same base topic.
Okay. All right. You have 5 minutes, and I'll let Mandy start the timer when you're ready.
Yes.
Whenever you're ready.
When you start, I'll start.
Good afternoon, members of the board, people of the public. My name is Derrick Wynne. I'm a former infantryman in the United States Army and currently a student here at San Jacinto College. I enrolled at this institution in good faith to pursue an education, to think critically, and to grow as a person. But instead of open inquiry, I found courses that appeared on paper to be neutral and academic, yet were anything but. What I and many other students received in several core classes was a semester-long immersion in identity-based political messaging, framed through one ideological lens. The curriculum revolved around themes like immigration, collectivism, and race-based group identity. Every assignment reinforced a single worldview. Counter-arguments weren't explored, they were implied to be ignorant or hateful. Subjects that should be objective, like writing structure, grammar, logic, and argumentation, were instead laced with passive-aggressive political persuasion. This isn't just biased teaching. It's a misrepresentation of course content, and at scale, that's a form of fraud. San Jac is advertising one thing and delivering another, and students are being graded not on how well they write, but on how well they conform. When I tried to raise this concern respectfully and professionally, I wasn't heard. I was misrepresented. At every level of the grievance process, my argument was twisted. Instead of addressing the principled issues I was bringing up, the overwhelming ideological imbalance, I was portrayed as simply uncomfortable with opposing views. That was never the issue, and they knew that. This deflection allowed administrators to dismiss my concerns without ever grappling with the truth, that San Jac is allowing its classrooms to be used for political indoctrination. Here's how this unfolded. First, I contacted the instructor directly and was ignored. So I requested a meeting with the person responsible for overseeing the curriculum. That individual had no interest in hearing the complaint, and that meeting was used to protect the material, not evaluate it. I escalated to higher levels of academic leadership. At that point, instead of seriously addressing the evidence I brought forward, the conversation shifted to whether I had violated student policy by recording the earlier meeting, where the instructor clearly stated, "Yes, I'm indoctrinating my students, and I'm glad it's working." The administrator I met with seemed more concerned about the fact that I had reluctantly documented this moment than the fact that it happened at all. When he learned I was recording our current conversation, I was asked to leave immediately. As I was walking out, he attempted to backpedal, but by then I had lost all trust in the process of this institution. I explained that I recorded only out of necessity, because at that point, so many people in this institution had shown that professionalism and objectivity could not be trusted, and I knew it would be my word against theirs. Somehow, in the eyes of this institution, that moment was treated as the final word. The matter was considered closed. Still, I tried to escalate one more time to those with the ultimate decision-making authority. I petitioned for a meeting, provided context, and shared my evidence. Not only was that request denied, but I received a formal letter from the college's legal office. No meeting, no follow-up, no review of the recordings, just more denial, because the assumption was that those below them could not possibly have acted unprofessionally. That's not leadership, that's insulation. I've tried to appeal to every level of this institution, and the process was gamed against me by the very people I'm supposed to trust for impartiality and integrity. 6 months ago, I stood before this board in a closed session. I was cut off mid-speech, and not a single board member reached out to me, not one. That silence, intentional or not, has compounded the damage. It has enabled the problem to grow, and has signaled to students and faculty alike that there is no accountability at this institution. This board has a choice. You can continue to allow your silence to signal consent, or you can act. You can ask questions, you can demand transparency, and you can protect your students. Elections are approaching, and the people who put you in these seats have a right to know. Do you stand for real education, or do you manage damage control? I gave years of my life in uniform to protect this country. I am now giving a few brief minutes to protect the integrity of its institutions. I'm not going away, and neither is the truth.
30 seconds.
Thank you very much.